Hello guys, Sujara speaking. Welcome to LJPCBM episode number 871. Today I'm reacting to Disney Classic Games, Aladdin and the Lion King on Very OddGamer, episode 17. React to this beginning in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Thank you.
Okay. Disney OddGamer. Oh, I'm pause. Hang on. Hold on one sec. Very OddGamer and Disney Classic Games, Aladdin and the Lion King. Continue on. Hold on. Title card designed by Nicole Kern and Hacker 700. Continue on.
Hello, Internet viewers. I'm the Fairly Odd Gamer. With Disney Plus being launched, it's best to go back into the world of Disney with two well-known classic movies. Which ones, you may ask? Well, how about Aladdin and the Lion King? I've talked about these films before. In fact, I reviewed the tie-in games to the Genesis earlier this year. So why am I talking about them again? Because of a certain game that was released not too long ago called Disney Classic Games, Aladdin and the Lion King. What I have here is the Switch version. So do these games still hold up? Let's find out. We see that the game was made by Digital Eclipse, which also made compilation games for Mega Man, Street Fighter, and most importantly, the Disney Afternoon Collection. Let's start off with Aladdin. The only version that is available for this game is the Genesis version, made by Virgin Interactive. I say this because the Super NES version was made by Capcom, and as I mentioned in my DuckTales review, Capcom's license deal with Disney has already expired. So the only way to play that version is by either getting a physical copy or playing it on an emulator. Anyway, it's pretty much the same game but with more buttons. I must say that it does feel pretty weird playing a Genesis game with a Pro Controller, but it's still pretty decent. The only additional thing for this, as well as the Lion King, is that you can rewind your gameplay to about 15 seconds. It's a clever idea because you can use it whenever you mess up or die in a certain area. But maybe to a point where it gets too easy. Rewinding the gameplay is a great way for new players to play the games, but I feel like players that have played this game before would find it pointless.
And if you watch this remix, I think the rewind thing will be more silly. This is for you, buddy. Continue on.
Either way, it's a good way to ease players into beating a game. You can also watch a playthrough of the game and then jump right into the gameplay at a certain point. Again, removing all challenge when it comes to the gameplay. But if you were to ask me which one to prefer, I'd rather play the game from the beginning and rewind whenever you need it.
Yeah.
Playing the game in HD quality really isn't much different when playing on a Genesis or an emulator. But visually it looks appealing with a background border of the Cave of Wonders from the movie. Now that's a nice touch.
Yes.
You can also play an unreleased final version of Aladdin, which I think doesn't feel any different in my opinion. There's also the trade show demo version of the game, which has some similarities as well as differences from the release version. The cutscenes in this version feel more animated than the release version.
Yes.
The gameplay, on the other hand, is really difficult. I tried swinging the sword at the enemies, but that doesn't even work. So instead I throw berries at the enemies, and that seemed to work. I also don't understand in the genie level where Aladdin is standing on a genie ball that rolls on a track, but that's just me. But there's a genie's ventriloquist dummy, so that's something, I guess. Overall, I think this version looks amazing, and it feels similar to what it would have been in the final version of the game.
Yeah.
So with Aladdin out of the way, let's talk about the other game for this review, The Lion King.
Okay.
Hey.
Wow.
Where did this come from?
Wow.
Hey gamer, do you know my Simba Plus went?
Oh, you mean this one?
Yeah, there it is. Thanks, gamer.
No problem, Hux.
So what you playing, dude?
The Lion King.
Again?
Yep.
That's fine, I was just curious. Anyway, later, dude.
Anyway, let's talk about The Lion King. There's nothing much to say about the Genesis version because I've already talked about it. But since the Super NES version of the game is made by the same company, I can at least talk about it in depth.
Okay.
It is similar to the Genesis version, but it does have screen crunch, making some of the levels more difficult. A primary example is the Ostrich from Can't Wait to Be King because it's the one level that gamers have had the most trouble with. But personally, I don't find it that challenging. For those who play the Genesis version of the game like myself, they more than likely know what they're getting into. Not to mention the gameplay rewind concept that I mentioned before can make it much easier for you.
Yes.
In regards to the soundtrack, I think the Super NES version is the best one. While I'm okay with the Genesis version of the score, this version definitely sounds more like the movie.
Yes.
It's the same as what I said in the Toy Story review. even though the Super NES has better sound quality than the Genesis, it still doesn't affect the game as a whole. While I do like the Super NES version of The Lion King, I still prefer the Genesis version because it's much easier for gamers to understand the movie better. The Super NES version, in my opinion, is the more difficult version because of the screen crunch and the lack of having Simba die when he loses a life, unlike in the Genesis version. In regards to control, it's easier to map the buttons because playing the game on a Pro Controller does feel like playing a Super NES game. Overall, The Lion King has also aged pretty well, if not better. Both games serve their purpose of bringing back nostalgia to the fans as well as newcomers who are interested in wanting to play these games.
Yes.
I love these games when I first reviewed them, and I still love them to this very day.
Yes.
But before I go, let's talk about the additional features of the game. Each game has its own share of behind-the-scenes footage of how each game was made and how each of them impacted many generations, including a Lion King breakfast during the Chicago Electronics Show as a promotion for both the movie and the video game tie-in. There are also galleries that show concept art for characters and levels, as well as some animation tests for the characters, but that's pretty much it. Overall, Disney classic games Aladdin and The Lion King is a great way for a new generation to play games based on movies that they've already seen before, and I think these games will definitely be remembered for generations to come. Well, I did it. I reviewed games that I've already done before.
Yeah.
And yet, nothing has changed since then.
Wow.
Oh well. Nothing to do now except ponder on what to review next. But I never intended this to happen. Never.
Wow.
No one really understood. That all I ever wanted was to bring them something great. Why does nothing ever turn out like it should? Well, what the heck? I went and did my best, and my...
Wow.
That is true. And for a moment, why? I knew I had to try, and then... I did, and for the first time since I don't remember when I felt like my old gaming self again, and I am the OddGamer. That's right, I am the fairly OddGamer. And I just can't wait until my next review, cause I've got some new ideas that I really wanted to, and my gosh, I'm really going to give it all my might! Uh-oh. I hope there's still time to set
Christmas, okay.
right. Santa Claus.
Yeah.
You probably know what game I'm doing next. I'm the Fairly OddGamer, and I wish you all good luck the rest of your day or night, wherever you are. Take care, everyone.
So that was the Very Odd Gamer, the episode 17, Disney Classic Games, Aladdin and the Lion King. What do I think about this episode? I think it was awesome to begin with. So far, this episode was a success. And that was episode of LJPCBM, episode number 800 and let's just say 71. Hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned for the next one, which is going to be LJPCBM episode number 872, The Nightmare Before Christmas. Although Christmas isn't here as of yet, it's going to be about it's going to be a Christmas in July episode again for LJPCBM. So let's just see what happens. Till next time, Sue Jones and Bob, peace out, baby. We can watch react to guys episode. Tomorrow's out. See ya.
Given unto me this life I'll never take for granted, and given all the time I failed to really understand it, I never sought to meet the maker of reality, the one who gave the life that which is always happening. But I tried the time. I ask, why me? Why was I the one to see things as I do under the moonlight and the sun? Perception is the question, and the giver holds the key.